Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, let me say, first of all, thank you so much for holding this hearing, and thank you for including me. You didn't need to do that. I appreciate it. I'm not on the committee, but as you know, I'm deeply interested in getting this to the bottom of this, as you are, and getting the answers that we need. So thanks for inviting me this morning. It's my pleasure to have the chance to welcome Commissioner Blake, Ms. Gallegos, and Mr. Cora. The blowout at the Gold King mine affected communities and businesses, as you have heard, throughout Southwest Colorado, and there is no denying that the EPA caused this, and that's entirely unacceptable. We've held hearings, as the Chairman said, on the EPA's actions, and it's appropriate that we now consider the economic aspects of this spill. The Animas River is the lifeblood and economic engine of Southwest Colorado. As we'll hear today, rafting companies lost business, sport fish trips were canceled, tourism suffered, and farmers couldn't water their crops. The damages from the spill are still being calculated, and we may not know the full extent for years to come. Businesses and individuals are starting to file claims to recover their losses. As Chairman Gardner said, they deserve to be fully reimbursed for their damages, and the EPA is committed to doing so. The Gold King Mine Spill Recovery Act that I've introduced with Senator Tom Udall will ensure that the EPA follows through on this promise. We'll continue to want to work with our colleagues to get that bill right. The bill requires the EPA to reimburse businesses, tribes, governments, and individuals for property damage, lost revenue, and emergency expenses. It also calls on the EPA to construct a permanent water treatment plant north of Silverton to tackle this problem at its source. The 4 mines in the upper Animas River Basin release more than 300 million gallons of acid mine drainage every year. We need solutions, as Senator Gardner said, to address this pollution all across the West. That's why Senator Gardner and I are working on Good Samaritan legislation to encourage the cleanup of abandoned mines. It is long past time for us to address this issue, and I think part of the issue we've had, Mr. Chairman, is that people in this place are too focused on the East Coast and the West Coast and aren't paying attention to the Rocky Mountain watersheds, which, by the way, if you live downstream from the Rocky Mountain watersheds, which almost everybody in the United States does, you need to take an interest in what we're doing there to make sure that we don't have another disaster like this. And I also believe that as part of this, we should reform the 1872 mining law to make sure that mining companies pay royalties to taxpayers just like everybody else on our public lands. Like many other business owners and elected officials, our witnesses today, Commissioner Blake, Deanne Gallegos, and Andy Cora, understand firsthand the need to address legacy mining so we don't get hit with another blowout. Senator Gardner and I appreciated meeting with both Mr. Cora and Commissioner Blake during our visit together to Durango 4 days after the spill. Mr. Cora is the co-owner of Four Corners River Sports in Durango. Four Corners River Sports is an outdoor retail store, paddle school, and commercial rafting business. It is open for business today, I'll bet. So if anybody's listening to the hearing, please go. Mr. Cora has built his business and raised his family in Southwest Colorado like so many other entrepreneurs. And as with so many small business owners in Durango, Andy depends on the Animas River for his livelihood. So when the water turned orange in August, in the middle of peak rafting season, it hit his business hard and without warning. I look forward to learning more from all the witnesses this morning. Mr. Chairman, thanks again for inviting me to speak briefly and for holding this important hearing.